Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway CUPP kicks against award of contract 3,000 naira per toll gate. So that is the issue. Now it's been revealed, according to the Minister for Works, David Umahi, that the contract was awarded to Tinubu's Lebanese ally, without any bidding and without going through contractual processes. Is that not a violation? That is a very huge capital project that you can just award like that, like as if it's a personal project. No. And also saying that the toll gate will take not less than, people will pay not less than 3,000 naira per toll. And how many toll gates are you going to have between Lagos and Calabar? How many? So I think the coalition of United Political Parties, CUPP, have come together to lash out on the government on this one now. Let's get into the details to see exactly what they're trying to say. The coalition of United Political Parties, CUPP, has accused the All Progressive Congress, APC government of having failed to deliver on the promises of open government, and has decided to use funds from the nation's treasury to reward their friends and cronies at the expense of taxpayers. Exactly. CUPP was reacting to controversy surrounding the award of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. Daily Post reports that the Minister of Works, David Umahi, had disclosed that the coastal highway will cost 14 billion naira per kilometer. 4 billion naira per kilometer, and not the 8 billion per kilometer as claimed in some quarters. So the minister also dismissed claims that the project did not follow the due procurement process, stating that the contract was awarded on a counterpart funding basis and not on a public-private partnership as widely claimed. So in a statement signed by its General Secretary Ahmed Peter Yakubu on Friday, CUPP joined the voices saying that the contract lacked transparency and due process, and that is true. So when you say counterpart funding, who is the other counterpart? And government is on the other part. Who is the other counterpart? And how did you select that counterpart? Who is funding that counterpart? Those are things we need to look at. The second party in that contract, who is funding them? How did you select them? Okay, are they the best to fund the government-owned project and to collect money? This thing that Tinubu is doing is the same way he did Lekki Phase 1 toll gate, the same way he did at, what do they call it, at Chevron toll gate, and the same way they did at Lekki Phase 1 Ikoyi overhead bridge toll gate. Okay, they said the counterpart funding, so they put the money there, and then they before you know it, they will sign an agreement to collect the counterpart, for the counterpart to recover their investment before they start talking about profit. Man, this is a very serious looting strategy. We must open our eyes to it. Okay? So the coalition maintained that all government contracts must follow open and competitive bidding process, insisting that the cost of building the road per kilometer, as disclosed by the minister, is outrageous and unacceptable. We are all already worried that due process was not followed in both the selection and award of the contract for the project. The intention of the federal government that vehicles would pay an average of 3,000 naira per toll gate is not acceptable and should be rejected by all Nigerian citizens, as this will further increase the burden on the suffering masses of our people. Anything above 300 naira will create a lot of hardship, but worst case scenario, 500 naira will be totally intolerable. Let the people breathe. So I said it now, the same way they said they did Lekki Phase 1 toll gate, Chevron toll gate, and Ikoyi toll gate in Lagos. That is the strategy they are adopting there, so that they will use it to get money. I tell you, if not for NSAS that has put an end to collection of toll in that toll gate, only God knows how much they would have ripped off Lagosians by now. It's the same strategy that they want to use in doing the toll gate of that. What do they call it? Of that coastal road, Lekki toll gate funding strategy and everything is what they're adopting there, and that is what they're going to use to collect money from people. That is bad. And they continue saying, we all know that there are institutions, bodies, and agencies that are created by law to take care of matters of this nature, ranging from Federal Executive Council, which sits to consider the economic imperative of this kind of gigantic project, the National Assembly, which has been constitutionally mandated to appropriate the fund, Bureau of Public Procurement, which looks at the entities that we execute the contract without the federal government spending way above and beyond what the project would ordinarily have cost, and etc. So do please remember that in constitutional democracy, which we practice, funds are not arbitrarily expended without the authorization of the legislative arm, which controls the pulse of the nation, and the president ought not to have doled out ₦1 trillion plus to his friends without authorization. That is it. And that is it. Okay? But in the event that the coastal highway is build, operate, and transfer project, due process must also be followed. The aforementioned institutions and agencies ought also have been put in the know with their input taken into consideration. If President Tinubu, as reported in the dailies and social media, has awarded the contract to the Chaguris, who are alleged to be his bosom friends and business partners, without due process and due consideration to the constitutional and statutory provisions, the National Assembly, that is, if we have a functioning and responsible parliament that is not beholden to the executive branch, is obligated to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate and possibly call the president to order, because doing what he is alleged to have done is a breach of constitution which he has sworn to uphold and protect. Exactly. It is very, very unfortunate that that is happening. Now, in the economy that is very bad, first of all, is that project a priority right now? We don't have electricity. With security system is very bad. There's high cost of food. There's high, exchange rate. The refinery is working. There's nothing happening. No good roads, no hospitals, no good schools. Schools, universities, and doctors are crying they cannot be paid. All these things are humanitarian projects that should add value to the life of the people. You are doing coastal road. Now you are using taxpayers' money to go and do coastal road. Either you are borrowing, because whether you like it or not, it is a form of borrow. Whether it is going to be done by counterpart funding or whatever, you are still going to pay. And that is why they are putting the toll gate at minimum or average of 3,000 naira per toll. And they will go there and put like 20 toll gates on that road now, and then rip people off. At the end of the day, you see that paying transport or buying flight ticket will be cheaper than driving on that road. Okay? And at the end of the day, you are telling us that there's transparency. No. You are telling us that that is a priority project. No. Taxpayers' money should go into projects that will add immediate value to the life of the people before you go on such capital project that will not add value in the meantime. That is not a priority project. We have the east-west road that is dead. Nobody's maintaining it. We have other major federal government roads in the country that needs attention. You have not done that. Look at Lagos, Benin, Warri, Port Harcourt road. Already it's a federal road, and between Warri and Benin, people spend 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours on the spot. You have not done anything. You are going to put heavy money on the coastal road because you call it counterpart funding. How many years are you going to sign that contract now? How many years will it take the partner to collect their funding before you start talking about profit? This is a rip-off strategy, I tell you the truth. And Nigerians must open their eyes to it. Exactly what the Lagos State government did under Tinubu's supervision with respect to the Lekki toll gate, Chevron toll gate along Lekki Express, and the Ikoyi Lekki Phase 1 toll gate to collect huge money, rip off people of Lagos. That's exactly what they want to adopt on that coastal road, and Nigerians must watch it. So thank you for listening, and let's have your comment.